and welcome to episode 11 of our Project Hybrid bike build. And today, what are we doing?
We are going to take some of this metal, some of this metal and some of this metal and stick it together and then stick it to that metal and make stuff.
Right, if I can translate for you, what we're going to do is make a number plate bracket and an underseat carriage unit type thing, and enclosing the light wiring type thing.
Everybody knows, that's what I just said.
Okay, so we have our tools. So let's get going. Right, so what's first?
Biscuits. AMT, obviously.
Of course I have to have bourbon biscuits because I've got a bourbon on my mug. It would just be wrong to put a custard cream in a bourbon mug.
You think?
Yes. That's against the law, surely. It has to be.
I think it's all down to personal preference.
Rubbish. You're wrong. So when you're making the number plate bracket, the first thing you want to make sure is that the wheel is straight. Now we've had this wheel off and on many times, so obviously things have moved. Now to do that, you have to measure from the centre of this bolt, with the swing arm main bolt, to the centre of the wheel bolt, and make sure it's the same distance from the centre of here to the centre of here, which is 46.1 on this side, and I've already measured on the other side, and that's also 46.1. So now we know that the wheel is straight. Now just to double check when we put the chain on, we also need to make sure that this sprocket is straight, but we'll do that a little bit later when it comes to fitting the new chain. So for now we know this is straight, so we can go ahead and make the bracket so it's central. Okay, let's crack on. Today we want to apologise. I've quickly got some time while they've stopped, but it seems we have police sirens going off all over the place, and we've got two people building houses or extensions or God knows what. One is drilling walls for some reason, maybe, I don't know, some
shelves,
sexual pleasure, and another one is cutting up paving slabs. Brilliant!
Yeah, it's joyous.
I'm tired of that. There we go.
I'm out.
Okay, so the plan is now to bend the metal. That's all I can say really. Go.
Oh dear.
And that's the end of that.
Yeah, that's not working.
I did say that's going to break.
Too high. The wood needs to be shorter.
Okay, this is the best way to cut wood. God, it feels good.
Certainly quicker.
Lovely.
It's pretty much on the bend, isn't it?
Bendy, 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 bendy.
Is that rolling?
It's rolling.
Yeah.
Bendy, bendy, bendy.
Table's on the move.
Wood's broken.
Ah!
Wood's broken.
Cheap wood. Halfway there.
I don't want to just put it on the edge of that because it'll cut into the metal
Yeah.
and make it look shit.
Very good.
Impressive. Now we need the width, so we know we want between this edge and the next edge to be no more than 200 mil. Based on
No more than 200 and no less than 150.
Yes, so we'll do.
Let's do 150 because the tyre's 120, so 150 is fine. Anything more than that is going to stick out the side of the plate.
Yes.
So let's just do 150.
Let's go to 150 from the inside edge then, shall we?
Okay. This two pieces of metal were £10. That's not bad. Oh yeah, and the sheet. Yeah. It's best to go. You can get these from somewhere like a DIY shop, but it's a complete waste of time. So we've got a nice piece of metal like this, and these two bars, from a scrap metal type geezer who doesn't just...
No, he's a fabricator. It's just bits
Fabricator.
laying on the shelf. Yeah.
10 quid. Pretty good.
Not bad. Ah, tea.
Oh, tea's arrived.
Thank you. Oh, I've bent that bit now. What the hell? Fixed.
Like a sissy bar.
Yeah.
So here we are with the first one. Now it's not completely finished yet, but you see the idea of what we're talking about. So one will go from here up to the top, and one will go from here to the bottom of the number plate bracket. Now, if you look at this swing arm, this one has the suspension mount right in the middle. This one has it to one side, and the reason for that is because this one is not the same distance away from the frame as the other one. And this one hasn't got a sprocket to contend with, whereas that one has. So it all works out to keep these in line. It's how it's supposed to be. But that also means that we have to change the way the eyes that bolt onto here go to this side. So we have to do it slightly differently. So it's going to look a little bit different as it is now, but once it's all on and put together, it's going to look pretty damn neat. Yes?
That bird is noisy, isn't it?
Anyway, now over the past couple of weeks we have been contemplating going for just a side-mounted number plate, and that would look perfect if we were in the right country. But because this is England, and England has massive number plates, it would look stupid. Because this isn't a huge bike after all. It's a good-sized bike, but it's on the smaller side in comparison to a lot of modern bikes. So a side-mounted number plate would just look wrong on this bike. Unfortunately, you can have, because of the age, it's 1978, you can have 2, 2 and 1, although 3, 3 and 1, so it could be a quite oblong plate. But then that would make it sort of this big and still about this wide. So it just looked weird. So this is the best option to go for, I think. Under here just wouldn't work because it would be too flat, and you'd have to have a tiny number plate, and we don't want to risk getting stopped or being illegal, because obviously everything has to be legal.
Legit.
That. So all that effort last time smacking it with a hammer was completely pointless.
To be fair, I didn't even need to make the groaning noises just for effect.
So there we go, finished.
Not quite.
Number plate bracket on. There you go. Job done. Yes. Right. So now what we've done is made the bottom one slightly wider than the top one, because we want it to match the same lines of this. So the bottom one is slightly wider than the top. So we made this one slightly wider. So when you see the bracket, that one will go there to the top, like so. Hold that there, please. And that one will go.
Also, these are going to be cut down, they're not going to stick out this far.
From there to there, and that will go on the back.
And then there'll be some bracey pieces on the side just to make it all a bit more rigid, and they'll be on an angle, following the lights.
That's quite like, yeah, brilliant. It's like the Japanese style.
Japanese exhaust pipes that stick out.
Or they're spoilers.
Yeah.
There you go, what do you think of that? Brilliant.
Result.
Right, let's cut it down and get it welded. Okay, so it needs to be 8 centimetres, 80 mil.
Same.
Do you want to guess?
It should be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Let's do that then, shall we? Exactly the same.
Okay, we need 2 things. We need a Sharpie and we need some pizza. So there we go. The plan is to have it further out on that side to compensate for the difference in not that far out, difference in space between the wheel and the swing arm.
Try and keep it in line with the shocks rather than the arms.
Yes. Food! Pizza! Right.
Yes.
Crack on!
Yes. What is this? Everything.
That's all the meat stuff. That's dip.
Nice.
And this is chicken stuff.
Oh, it's barbecue.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Keep steam up, can't see it. Blow the end off.
Smoking. I think my welding is improving. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting better.
This side's nice. The back.
Yeah, I didn't quite finish off the back there.
No, that's fine.
This side is nicer.
Like I say, when we get ready for powder coat and we pull everything apart, we'll go around and just tidy everything up.
I've never welded before until I touched this bike.
Well, it is, of course, with the exception of the exhaust on your Mustang, you did a bit of welding on, of course.
Oh yeah, but that was minimal.
Yeah.
And that was my first time ever.
And that was super neat as well. Good.
What can I say, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
So now we need two holes either side. So obviously it needs to be so this bolt can go through without getting in the way of this around there. You want this side.
Don't worry about that one, we'll do the back ones first.
This is a back one, isn't it?
No. The back ones. One's at the back.
Here's a back one.
That's the front one.
What's the back of this bracket?
It's the front of the bracket.
Ah, but when you're looking at the thing, that's the front of the number plate bracket.
It's the back of the
Therefore,
bracket.
this is the back of the bracket. It's the back of the bike, but not the back of the bracket.
It all coincides.
Do not have the ability to switch it around just because it's a different object.
No.
Well, then you're weird.
I don't want to do that one, I want to do the back ones.
I can still measure it.
No.
Stop being controlling. God's sake, it's like being married to you. And I don't want to do that.
What the comment people say. I don't know what's going on there.
What? Like the marriage thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Like an old married couple.
you wish.
No, I really don't.
Why not? I've got great taste in cars.
No, you haven't.
What do you mean I haven't?
I don't like most of the cars you like.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like Mustangs?
Oh, really? I'm not a Mustang guy.
You don't like Audi S8s?
No, I don't mind that actually.
You don't like that Quadrifoglio?
No, I like Quadrifoglio.
Well, shut up
I don't
then.
like that horrible Maserati thing you were looking at.
Well, that's not my ideal car, that's just something I wanted as a daily. Anyway, stop bloody going on about bullshit.
I hate
And
this.
concentrate on stuff. Yeah, well, I hate you, so carry on. Okay, so now we're going to drill a hole. We have a drill, we have a 4.5mm to start with, and then we're going to go on to the 8mm for the bolt. So, I need a bitch to hold the other side. Can you,
what?
Can you be that bitch?
Why do I need to hold it?
Because if I push, it's going to come off, isn't it? Off the stand.
Oh, I don't know if I want to be this side of the drill.
Well, it's not 25 foot long, is it?
I don't know, it's on the end of your arms.
Oh, for God's sake. That's what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to smack into the...
Oh, it happens. Oh, well.
So if you don't have a dot punch, the idea is to get some decent drill bits so you don't get all the wandering and squealing about all over the metal. That way you get perfect little holes, like so.
Right, so we've had a little measure up with a tape measure, brilliant. From the back of this bracket, giving us the space we want here, which is about 20mm or so, doesn't need to be precise. We've said from there, because that's where the bar's going to be with a bracket on, 310mm brings us just past the tyre.
A bit further up, so about 40 degrees.
Yeah, but it doesn't change very much. But so 310mm is the inside of the hoop on the bottom bar. So I've now measured already from the inside of this hoop, 310mm on each side, and I'm going to cut that off and go over there and check it fits. Maybe I'll cut it a little bit bigger first, and then if it's wrong, it's not a problem. Yeah, I don't mind cutting it smaller, but you can't really add it back on really easily.
Indeed. And then what?
And then what? Oh, and then I'm going to cut little slits in the end of this, that way, and that way. We're going to add a little piece of the metal we did the brackets with, which is over there. Slide it into the slot, weld it on both sides, drill a hole in it, and then it can be bolted onto the nice new bracket on the frame over there. It was a great plan. Let's get on with it. So with my eye level, it's a bit like a spirit level, only less accurate. Just making that mostly flat, and then I'm going to grind straight in the end with a grindy slitty disc thing. Make it a little, just wide enough to slide that piece of metal inside there. Same on that side, and then that'll give us a nice little, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, little brackety bit with a bolt hole in it. Lovely.
So the next thing is to drill holes in the brackets here to fix onto the bracket down there. Now the idea is to be 10mm away from the end of this bar, so from the end of the weld. So 10mm, we've got our pen, 10mm is there. Where's the bolt? There it is. Marvellous. So now to see if it lines up. So, well, that one goes in. And that one goes in. Well, the looks of it, obviously that's going to be about there. So what we need to do is shave off some of this weld in this corner on here so it doesn't create a gap there, so it sits nice and flush. Shape these nicely so it goes across there and round, nice at the end, and shave a bit off the bottom there so it doesn't catch on the weld on the bracket, like so, and we'll be ready to go with the next one. Not bad. Okay, let's get going with the next one. Well, let's finish off this one first. Okay, so with that turned into that, I now have to do the same on that one and the other two for the other bracket. So here's some artistry going on. Okay, so there's two done. Now to make the other bracket and make two more. Okay, to save from too much welding and grinding video, what we've done is jumped ahead a little bit and we've made the bracket and we've mounted this one on already, and this one is now almost in place and tack welded with the brackets sort of semi-made, and all we're going to do now is cut them to shape, weld them on fully, and then they will bolt on ready. But it's nice and sturdy already, look. Well, that one's obviously not quite screwed in yet.
That's not even got nuts on it.
No, the bolts are just bolted through to hold it in place. But that's going to be nicely done. And then when the number plate, which is going to be roughly this size, will sit on the back there, like so. And there we have it. That's now bolted in place. That's now bolted in place, nice and sturdy. That's not going anywhere. All we need to do, we're going to put a piece of metal in there. and a piece on this side, and that is what the number plate is going to bolt to. So we don't need a cheese board or a backing or anything like that, just going to bolt it straight to those pieces of metal. So we'll get that done, and then we shall build this under seat tray up there. And there we have it, it's done. Malcolm, demonstrate how strong it is, please.
That's pretty well on there, isn't it?
That is. I mean, it looks a bit monstrous from the back here.
Yeah.
But if you put that number plate thing on it, okay, yeah, I'm liking that.
So by the time we've got maybe a reflector down, maybe we'll use a piece like this, a reflector and a light.
Yeah. Well, it still looks quite big as it is, because that's because the bike is still next to nothing, you know, nothing's been built.
Yeah.
But I think we've done pretty well there. Pleased with that. Tray. It's going to go in here. See this gap here? It's not going to be a gap much longer.
Where's the CAD?
Yes, we have our technical CAD.
Cardboard aided design. I think I stole that from Obsession Motorsport.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Project Binky.
Are you plugging other channels?
Yeah.
Well done.
Well, if you're stealing there for ages, you should at least tell where you got it from.
Okay, so let's mock that up. What we're going to do is stick it underneath, like so. And draw where we're going to do it and how we're going to go round. Obviously, we need to go round these bolt holes here.
Yeah.
This side and this side. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to get the seat on.
So we have fitted the light bracket thing back in so we can get an idea of where this is going to be height-wise. We've made our cardboard cutout.
Please come again.
Yeah. With this now butted up to the back edge of the hoop, that'll be nicely welded in on there. That leaves us a gap at the front. We're going to leave that open because if we decide we want to put anything up here, like some cables for running the lights or whatever, they can just be run straight in there through this gap. But also, if, because we're having to leave these gaps, water gets in when you're riding along and it happens to be raining, that can run off and not sit there forever like a pond.
So we'll just cut out the metal to fit and start welding in. Ta-da! So with the template on the metal, we just draw around. So we have the metal plate, like so, shiny, and that fits in there quite nicely. However, we have something else to contend with, and that is the mudguard. So we'll take the lights out. We have to fit the mudguard in place, and then cut it down to size to where we want it. Otherwise, there's no point welding the plate in if the mudguard isn't going to go in afterwards. No. Okay, so that's pretty much where the mudguard's going to go. As you can see, it sticks out quite a way. So what we need to do is measure where it's going to go, where we're going to put it. That's ideal there because it stops crap going up in there.
Originally it was screwed up here with the
old mudguard. Do you see how high it was before in comparison to what it is now?
Well, that went under this.
Yeah. That's how ridiculous that massive humpy seat was.
Yeah, we can have it higher, and that way anything that hits that will spray back and down this rather than going through any gap that we leave at the top. So with the plastic higher than that, it's about halfway.
Like that.
Alright, do you want to mark this side the same?
I'm going to go left-handed. This could go pear-shaped. Quite literally.
Let's hope.
Ambidextrous plastic artistry. It's following the line so far. I'll just bend it.
As long as you can use that place there
and then just
line the
slice through like that.
Yeah, lay the saw on the flat which you've already cut.
There we go. It's like I'm in the Sea Life Centre. Marvellous. Look at that, look. You can tell it's the end of the day. Yeah. Stupidity has ensued.
That made a funny noise.
So now that's welded in place, just going to drill a couple of holes through here and the light bracket. I know it's not on the black mark, but that's because this is moved slightly and needs to be in the middle there, so that's fine there. Two. How do they measure underneath?
Looks pretty good to me.
Bear in mind, I think it just moved when I did. Ah, mother! That loop is quite warm.
Just an idea. Don't touch the hot bits.
Right.
You got the drill bit already.
Yeah, it's in my pocket. That's hot.
Just touch that for.
So the purpose of putting these in here is we're going to weld some nuts. No, we're not. We're going to weld some bolts to the underneath of this light bracket. They're going to go through there permanently. And then if we need to, we can undo the nuts inside here and take the lights off separately, leaving this tray in situ, because obviously it's welded in. It looks a bit at the moment, but it doesn't matter, because when it goes off for powder coating, all this will be powder coated with the frame. So it'll look very nice when it's finished.
And on top of that, when we strip the bike before it goes to powder coating, we'll be tidying everything up.
Indeed. So with this in mind, we're now going to slot this in so you can see what it looks like.
Hopefully it still fits.
So just squeeze it in there, like so.
Maybe bow it a little bit.
Get it in there like that. Push it up.
Hang on. Right, just trim a bit of plastic away.
Yeah, we'll do some trimming later, and obviously I'll get a file on there and file it quite nicely. But the reason for that is that, as Malcolm said, if we get splats through these holes here, and we get water laying in there, again it's going to be powder coated, so it's not going to get rusty. The water can then drip down there on the inside of the mudguard, not hitting any electrics down here, or any of the carbs, or anything like that.
But also, when there's rain or whatever spraying up off the tyre, it might hit that metal tray, go to the back, and then it'll just flick off, hit the guard and go down the inside of the guard, not the inside of the bike.
What you said?
No, you said about water on top, I'm talking about water underneath.
Right. That too?
Yeah.
Okay. So there we go, we've got the number plate bracket done, and we've got the underseat tray done, and as an added bonus, we've got the mudguard done as well. So, we're all looking good. Now, of course this is in raw mode, and this is in raw mode, because it is going to be powder coated the same colour as the frame. Now Malcolm came up with a suggestion about doing this black. So what do you think? I personally think it should be gunmetal satin, the same colour as the swing arm, because then it will flow all in one unit. Or should it be black to match the lights and the suspension? What do you reckon? Please comment below and let us know your thoughts on that.
Of course there'll be the bars and everything as well, handlebars.
And they'll be black, yes. So we would like some suggestions actually, it would be good. Yes.
Other thing for suggestions.
Yes.
would you like us to do a live stream?
Yeah, it's all very trendy and modern, but we're trying to move with the times.
Yeah, and also it gives us a chance to maybe engage with some of you guys, because you can ask questions and we can answer those questions live.
Yeah.
Rather than you ask questions in a...
You can put us on the spot.
Comment thing and...
So we can't Google anything. Maybe anything, nothing too technical, eh?
Yeah. And don't ask us things like where we met, because we don't know.
Where we met? That's so gay.
I know, but that's what people ask.
Where did you meet?
Where did you guys meet? Well, yeah, but it happens. I've watched
Under
other
the
videos
clock
and
on
they
Union Station. I had a flower and he had a bell end on his head.
I had a red briefcase and you asked me whether the fox jumps over the moon at 2:30. Yeah, whatever.
Did I?
No.
I don't remember saying that. Anyway,
yeah. Live stream, is it worth doing? Would you like us to do it? You know, we'll answer questions, whatever.
Yes. So what's coming up next? Well, next week we are back on the bike and we are looking at getting the engine fitted and the exhaust mocked up. First of all, we've got to enclose these lights and we're going to get some grommets and slightly change the wiring angle, so all these wires will be hidden. And then, like I say, engine in, and we're going to try and mock up the exhaust to find out how we're going to fabricate the exhaust below. We've got a unique tool to do that with. Or several unique tools, actually.
I wouldn't go as for such, so I'd say it's unique, but well, it'll do the job.
We'll see. Anyway, that's it for this video. Like I said, we've got that coming up. Then we've also got a car show coming up very soon in May. We've got another outtakes video coming up in May, and we've got 2 more bikes. In fact, we've got about 4 more bikes coming from AR Motorcycles, some nice more 125s, and we've got a couple of 500s and 600s coming in the future as well. So watch out for those. And until then, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.